Hey Most Amazing Top 10 family, I'm your host Chade Rain and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. So things are heating up right now in North Korea. Everyone is in a tailspin. No one knows what's going on. And the ripple effect of a possible shift in world leaders is starting to be felt over here. You know that all of us thought that we were going to come to 2020 so hot. And don't get me wrong, you can still have an amazing year with everything that's going on, but you have to admit this is all pretty wild. We never thought we were going to take off like this. Well, maybe we'll still have a really nice summer. Who knows? But outside of that, we might need to find out what is going on in North Korea first, but we may never know. They keep all their secrets locked up super tight, and that is why I'm bringing you today's list of top 10 scary North Korean facts they don't want you to know. If any of you at home want some more top 10 content, then you should check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We have a ton of extra content over there for you guys, and stick around until the end of the list because I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts, which you guys love so much. And without taking any longer, let's get into this list. At number 10, of course, let's start off with the health of Kim Jong-un. That is the big question right now. Is Kim Jong-un alive or is he dead? No one really knows because it has been more than 2 weeks since anyone has seen any sign of this guy. It all started when he didn't show up to North Korea's biggest holiday, Family Day. I'm just kidding, it's not called Family Day. It would be so funny if their biggest holiday was actually called Family Day. They're a country that tells people what haircut they're allowed to get. But the actual holiday is Army Day, and it is massive in North Korea. It honors the founder of North Korea, Kim Il-sung, who is Kim Jong-un's grandfather, so you can tell it would be very important for him to be there. After all of that happened, word leaked out that a team of Chinese doctors flew into North Korea and were preparing for Kim Jong-un's heart surgery. It took a long time for anyone at a national level to confirm this, but eventually word came out that Kim Jong-un was alive and well. This statement was backed up by the South Korean government, who said he was recovering in the resort town of Wonsan. And even though everyone is saying that he's fine, no one has seen his face. The whereabouts and his health of this man are the biggest secret in the country right now. And if he is in fact dead, we might not know about this for a very long time. At number 9, we have their nuclear capabilities. It is known that North Korea is a nuclear country and that they have been doing nuclear tests throughout most of the 2000s and the 2010s, even though they've been sanctioned many times to stop. Yeah, I don't think they're a country that respects any word from the UN. Now, how many nukes does this country have? Well, this is a mystery for any country that has been building up these weapons of mass destruction. For North Korea, however, it seems that they have been boasting a number much higher than Intel would believe that they actually have. The North Korean military claims that they have nuclear capabilities to take on every world superpower and most countries, that they have the most advanced missile launching systems in the world, but in reality, they probably have somewhere between 30 to 50 nukes, which is still a lot, but with the anti-missile systems within America and the ability to shoot down nukes before they even launch, North Korea probably won't be able to take on the whole world. I mean, if you want to do something like that, you gotta at least have like 2 nukes per country or something. At number 8, we have the coronavirus numbers. How many people in North Korea have coronavirus? Well, if you ask them, they will say 0. And then you go, wait, your main trading partner is China, the place where the outbreak happened, and you say the number is still 0? And then you go, hey, wait, everyone in your country is wearing masks. Why would they be wearing masks? Is it just a fashion choice? And the number is still 0? It's unknown why North Korea is not telling anyone what the numbers of the virus are in their country. This could be because they want to seem strong in the face of a global pandemic. It makes it seem like their people are immune to the virus. Or it could be simply because they don't want to leak any sort of medical information from their country to the world. Or they're simply not testing and they have no idea and they aren't acknowledging that the virus is a real thing. Either way, they are claiming that the number is still 0, which is really hard to believe because it's even in Iceland. If it gets in Iceland, it gets in everywhere. At number 7, we have North Korea's GDP. A country's GDP, or gross domestic profit, is extremely important. It's basically the value of goods that come in and out of the country and how much wealth your country is generating and the value of your dollar. Now, the GDP of North Korea has never been disclosed. They would have us believe that they're one of the richest, most powerful countries in the world, that we should marvel at what they're able to do, and that they are an economic powerhouse. But the truth is that we have no idea what their GDP is, but experts would say it's not good. Not only is North North Korea extremely corrupt, probably taking large chunks of profit from every major company that is operating in the country, but most nations won't engage in any sort of trade with them, which means, except for China, no one is willing to buy anything from them, which plummets your GDP. On top of that, many experts suspect that their GDP is one of the lowest in the world. The exact figures are unknown, but it's thought that their GDP is somewhere around $500 per person. Now, just to hold a mirror up to this, America's is $50,000 per person, so you can only imagine what it's like living in North Korea. And number 6, we have labor camps. This is how North Korea is able to enforce their iron rule over their country with fear of being put into labor camps. If you are convicted of a crime in North Korea, there are 2 options that will come with your sentencing, which will be death, or you'll be sent into a camp where you have to work all day in some of the worst conditions, and you will most likely die over there. Flyovers of the country have shown massive plots of land, mostly in the mountains, where people are forced to work as slaves to the North Korean government. Each one of these camps is surrounded by massive fences covered in barbed wire that constantly have a high electrical current running through them. The exact number of work camps is unknown, but it's thought that they sit somewhere around 16, and that there's approximately 200,000 people working in these work camps right now. Now, what do you have to do to get thrown in one of these camps? Well, really anything. It could be as simple as petty theft or saying something wrong about the government. Number 5, we have childhood. There is no fun growing up in North Korea. The small GDP that the country is generating mostly comes from those work camps, and another portion comes from child labor. Education is so poor that most families can't afford to live, so many people have their children start working as soon as they are old enough. There's also a ton of medical problems that most children in North Korea have. 28% of kids that are born in the country grew up with some sort of deformity or stunted growth because of lack of nutrition. Over a quarter of the children in the country will have their body's natural processes halted because they can't get enough food. And number 4, we have national spending. You think with all the starving children you have in your country, you would at least put a little bit of money into social services to help those people. Well, this is North Korea that we're talking about. Once again, all those exact figures are probably only known by Kim Jong-un himself, well, if he's still alive, but it's estimated that 1/3 of the country's GDP goes directly into military funding. They keep most of the people in their country sick or starving so they can beef up their military, so they can create the illusion that they are some sort of global contender. And number 3, we have other forms of revenue. When work camps aren't making you enough money and no one in the world will trade with you, how do you keep bringing in money so you can buy some tanks to make people think that your country isn't the worst place on earth? Well, you start committing insurance fraud around the world. The North Korean government has been caught more than once committing massive amounts of insurance fraud. What they do is they will take huge insurance claims out with foreign companies. The contracts for these claims will be under North Korean law. This will usually be for some sort of massive helicopter or building or something like that. Something that's worth a ridiculous amount of money, so the insurance claim will be upwards of $50 million. They will then claim that this thing is destroyed and ask for the insurance money. This was such a nuisance in the mid-2000s that several large American companies sued North Korea, but they were unable to get any sort of monetary compensation. Big surprise. And number 2, we have they control the date. Many of us have agreed that the year is 2020. We know that the Earth is much older than that, but it's the standard that we have all said is fair, so we can help the world run normally. Well, in North Korea, they have their own calendar, and it says that it's year 108. How did they get to that arbitrary number? Well, I'll tell you that there's actually a lot of weight behind it. The North Korean calendar starts on April 15th, 1912, which is the day that the founder of North Korea, Kim Il-sung, was born. That's how you know your country has a stranglehold on it. When the dictator changes when time started to coincide with his birth. That is crazy. And for the number 1 spot, we have the Famine Cannibals. One of the worst tragedies to ever hit North Korea was the famine that started in 1994 and stretched into 1998. Major damage was done to farming crops from natural disasters, and the country had no funds to support its people. Not that it would have if the money was there. This forced people to do whatever they could to try and survive. They turned to anything that could possibly be used as food. Wildlife went first, then it went on to insects. When you could no longer find a good enough bug supply, people started eating leather off their boots and clothes. Dirt and bark was the next step, and then not long after that, it was suspected that people started to kidnap orphan children and carve them up in their homes. They would then sell the meat and consume it themselves. There was a saying from people who were fleeing North Korea at the time: if you don't know where the meat comes from, don't eat it. That's terrifying. All right, everyone, that has been our list. And as promised, I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts, something to bring up the mood a little bit. Remember, if you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. I pick new pets every day, so if you don't get picked one day, you can message back another day. I usually pick who messaged most recently, so just message me as many times as you want. I don't care. And without taking any longer, let's shout out some pets. To kick things off, we have Mac, who's the perfect little hamster boy. Look at him all balled up like that. Right after that, we have Bruce, who is simultaneously a big boy with a big ol' head and a floofer. I didn't know that world of perfection actually existed. My heart is melting. Then we have a nice close-up of Bella, who's looking great during quarantine. I wish I could snuggle her. Next, we have Tommy, who does have a little bit of a sinister look about him, but I bet he's a great guy. And to close it out, we have Chase, who's enjoying the sunshine so much. Look at that big smile on that boy's face. All right, everyone, that has been our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I have been your host, Shoutout, and I don't know, stay out of North Korea. Bye.